But thank you for attending this very special annual meeting of Michigan Milk Producers Association. The 100th anniversary puts us in a very select group of people. I don't know about you, but I have been wondering how many companies actually survive for 100 years. So I did a little research. For example, I found that the average lifespan for an S&P 500 company in 1920 was 67 years. It's diminished somewhat since then. Today, the lifespan is 15 years. We are beating the odds, and there's reasons we're beating the odds, and we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. If this were just a regular annual meeting, I'd be standing up here right now and be talking about things like dairy markets, past, current, and future expectations. But we did a thorough review of dairy economics in our local annual meetings this year. We did a short review at our district delegate meetings, and I can tell you nothing much has changed since then. We still have a global oversupply of milk. It continues to put pressure downward on prices, and the recovery hinges on global milk production, especially global milk production, especially in the EU. Quotas on milk production in the EU were removed a year ago, this coming April, and ever since then we've seen a continued increase in milk production in the EU. I think it's surprised a lot of people. Their current rate of expansion is 3%. Since the EU produces about 1.7 times more milk than the US, on an equivalency basis, that would mean a 5% increase in US production. US production did increase in 2015, not at a rate like that. It was more like 1.2, 1.3%. And our domestic per capita consumption remains strong. But the increased consumption of butter, whole milk, and cheese, it's what's kept our prices, actually our pay prices on our farms, higher than any other major dairy section of the world. It's because the higher fat items are selling much better. But global production continues to grow, and it's going to continue to put pressure on U.S. prices. So current economic conditions are anything but sweet. The down cycle, unfortunately, we're used to down cycles, we're used to up cycles. This down cycle is going to last longer than what we've become accustomed to. We've been accustomed to the 3-year cycle. This one's going to last longer than that. The other thing I could talk about today would be regulatory issues, political issues. We could talk about TPP, we could talk about GMOs, but we're not going to do that today. We're here to celebrate today. Celebrate our past and embrace our future. So the rest of the day, let's walk on the sunny side of the street. The first thing, as we take that walk, I think we need to recognize that a cooperative is a unique business. In fact, some even say that a dairy co-op is two businesses in one. On the one hand, we market our members' milk and run manufacturing plants. On the other hand, we provide member services to our members, our member owners, and add value to the milk they produce. An investor-owned firm, on the other hand, wants to buy milk as cheaply as they can, that's natural, so that they can enhance their profitability as much as possible. A co-op, however, is charged with returning as much money back to the members as possible. And I'll come back to that issue a little bit later also. I was reading in a recent issue of Forbes magazine by a column, an article by David K. Williams, and he was talking about the attributes and advantages of long-lasting businesses. As I was reading, it became more and more apparent to me that the generic description he was making of a long-lasting business, MMPA could have been a perfect model for that. He writes about 5 top reasons to focus on building long-term businesses, and those 5 main reasons or topics would be the investment in people. In our case, it's our investment. We're focusing on mutual respect among members and employees. Once you create that base, you're also creating a long-lasting opportunity for a long-lasting entity. Long-term companies build relationships and partnerships with customers and communities that are solid. They groom good leaders, and they provide opportunity for growth. They are financially stable, and their values and unique strengths are clear and focused. So just on the surface, I think you recognize MMPA's fingerprints all over those 5. You know, back in 1916, I don't think the Livingston County Milk Producers Association thought in their wildest dreams that they were planting a seed that would grow into the successful organization we are today. But that's where it all started. They were just very upset with milk prices when on April 22nd, 1916, they adopted the following resolution and shared it with the world through the pages of the Hoard's Dairyman magazine. It read, whereas the milk producers of Michigan are suffering seriously because of increased cost of production with no corresponding increase in income, be it resolved, we issue this call to all milk producers in Michigan to gather at the Michigan Agriculture College, East Lansing, room 402, Agricultural Building, on Tuesday, May 23rd at 11 a.m. 400 dairy farmers from all over southern Michigan showed up for that meeting on May 23rd, and they agreed to form this co-op, Michigan Milk Producers Association. They held their first annual meeting in October of 1916, and by that time, the association had already grown to 1,000 members. While our original intent for organization was to bargain for higher prices, which we still do that today, but we have evolved into much more than a bargaining agent. We have always recognized the value of high-quality milk, and we have developed a very talented and dedicated field staff to assist our members when they ask for help to produce higher quality milk. We have also invested in sophisticated lab equipment and the personnel to run it to aid our members to produce the best quality milk. The information that we garner from that equipment from our people has really helped our members identify ways to produce a higher quality product. The dedication to quality by our producers and staff has resulted in MMPA receiving recognition and accolades from our customers for our excellent quality. High-quality milk has, perhaps more importantly, resulted in steady markets for our products that in turn put money in our member owners' pockets. So quality is very important, and so is every other segment of our operations. Our plants at Ovid and Constantine are running very efficiently and producing award-winning products every day. Our sales staff is working diligently to find the best value possible in a very crowded marketplace. In fact, everyone working with or for MMPA is dedicated to the success of our association and the member owners. Our general manager, Joe Diglio, has added some very key employees to the staff, necessitated by our co-op's growth, but they are also strengthening the core of our association. We have invested in people over the life of our co-op. We have always been people-focused, recognizing our success dependent on a loyal and stable membership. The dairy industry is unique, which means that retaining a dedicated staff and long-serving employee base in all areas of our operations is equally important. The investment in people has paid off very well, as evidenced by the number of long-term members and employees in our association. We recognize our co-op's loyal employees, and we, of course, recognize our long-serving 35-year owner members at each annual meeting. And it's always gratifying to hear the kind remarks expressed by that group. The most common and memorable remarks made by the 35-year members have been, we've always gotten our check, and MMPA has always been there to help us when we needed it. In addition, this year, we are inaugurating the recognition of our 50-year members also, we thought our 100th year anniversary was a perfect time to start this. The relationship with our customers is very important to us as well. Whether the relationship is a new or a long-term customer, the business relationship means a great deal to us. We want to serve our customers' needs. Our goal is to build trust and dependability by delivering outstanding performance on our part. We recognize the importance of integrity and reliability in a business relationship. We can't be successful if our customer isn't successful. As consumers have become more and more removed from production agriculture, their interest in where their food comes from has also grown. A new set of concerns raised by consumers has motivated the dairy industry to more actively seek a uniform method to reassure consumers that we are responsible caretakers of our animals. Today, we work with our customers to assure them that our animal care practices follow the FARM guidelines developed by the National Milk Producers Federation, and that every member of MMPA is certified under the FARM program. This means that our customers can in turn assure their customers that the animals that produce the milk they're buying are being treated properly. Sustainability is another topic that's come to the forefront. Consumers are concerned about sustainability in addition to animal care, or maybe even as a part of animal care. So we've been working with our customers in ways that make it possible for MMPA, your co-op, to efficiently report the sustainability practices that we incorporate on our member farms. I know, and I really don't want to single out any of our customers today, but I do know we have a number of them in the audience with us, and I really would like all of you to please stand, you know who you are, so that we can show our appreciation for our long-term business relationship. Another relationship we are very proud of is the one we have with the community. We have, in recent years, expanded both of our processing plants, the one in Ovid and the one in Constantine. And while expansion can sometimes create friction within the community, in both cases, those communities welcomed our expansion with open arms. Not only welcomed us, but in both cases, the communities helped us overcome hurdles that could have slowed the process. But with their assistance, we were able to move forward. I think this is a reflection of our co-op's integrity and reputation. We have also supported many initiatives, including Breakfast on the Farm. We support 4-H, FFA, and our dairy communicators who do so much in their local communities, supporting dairy consumption and educating the public about the true nature of farming operations. And of course, included in that community relationship would have to be our involvement with the Flint water crisis that the governor mentioned and thanked us for. And before the Flint water crisis last summer, we contributed 22,700 gallons to the Food Bank Council of Michigan, and we're going to talk more about that later. As most of you probably already know, the Michigan dairy industry is recognized for its growth, progressive nature, and ability to get things done. A lot of that credit has to go to our producers, who are among the best, if not the best, in the country. But we also have established probably the best relationships with the many sectors of state government, state regulatory agencies, our legislators, and our land-grant university, Michigan State University, that you'll find in the U.S. I mean, we've done a tremendous job of working together. We have invested in the future of the industry by honoring those who have gone before us in ways that will help those who follow us. Over the years, scholarships and endowed funds have been established in the names of former MMPA leaders so that the monetary contributions provide an education for agriculture students and provide funds for dairy-related research. we all work together for the common good, and it has paid off. When relationships with customers, communities, members, and employees are as solid as they are here, they produce tremendous returns. We are also solid when it comes to the bottom line. We are very strong financially, and you'll see that later this morning when Eric Fromm gives the Treasurer's report. Without an unwavering focus on the financial aspects, this business wouldn't be here today celebrating its 100th annual meeting. MMPA's recognition of the need for developing leadership is worthy of mention also. We started our Outstanding Young Dairy Cooperator program in 1950 to highlight potential future leaders, and it continues as a very strong program today, 66 years later. We provide many opportunities for members to become involved in leadership roles. Some of those opportunities include becoming a delegate, a local officer, a district officer, member of the advisory committee, the resolutions committee, and also as a board member. We also recognize 4-H members and apprise them of MMPA's function in milk marketing through the 4-H milk marketing program in June of each year. We have also been instrumental in organizing contributors to participate in the annual Livestock Expo sale since its inception in 2009. To date, that effort has raised almost $180,000 for youth activities. I can't overestimate the overriding need for dairy farmer leadership to make a dairy co-op successful. By my count, MMPA has had 134 members who served as members of the board of directors. It has been their duty to establish goals, set policy, hire the general manager, and evaluate our successes and our shortcomings. They have businesses to manage at home. They have their own lives to lead. But yet, they have been willing to take the time to help make MMPA what it is today. Trust me when I say that not every day as a director is a walk on the sunny side of the street. Board meeting days are usually long. Many of our members leave their homes in the dark. They leave the meetings after sunset because we do so much work in those meetings before they begin their drive home. Tough decisions have to be made by those board members. They have to make decisions that affect not just them, but every member of MMPA, and actually beyond that. When they make those decisions, board members have to take off their farmer cap and put on their MMPA cap. That's not always an easy thing to do. They've made decisions that have gone home. They've gone home that night and didn't sleep very well because they wondered if they really made the right decision. But they keep coming back because they know how important their participation is to the successful future of MMPA. They know that their decisions affect many lives. The board will be introduced individually this afternoon or before lunch, but they contribute so much, and I would like at this time for every past, present, and newly elected board member to please rise so we can show our appreciation to the time they spend working for us. Thank you. We have been in existence for 100 years, but it really doesn't seem that way, and I think that's because we keep evolving. As markets changed, we adapted. In 1916, our markets were close by, and by comparison, relatively simple. Today we still deal locally, but we are also cognizant of the global marketplace, and when appropriate, we market globally. We are adapting to the changing playing field and developing markets outside our state line. We are doing our part to establish even better working relationships with other dairy co-ops. I really want to emphasize that. because with the massive consolidation we've seen in the processing and retail side of our industry, we recognize the need for much better cooperation to level the playing field. Now, I said earlier that I would get back to this idea that a dairy co-op could be considered two businesses in one because of the member producer owner side and the other side, the manufacturing and marketing. You know, I believe that observation is true. But I also think that MMPA has succeeded in bringing the two together. I think we've built a culture in our co-op that emphasizes that everyone involved in MMPA is a valuable part of our success. Our goal is still to market our members' milk to the greatest advantage possible, and we must meet that challenge of making that happen in today's very complex world. We know that by working together, we are stronger than the sum of the parts, a reality that has not changed over time. We started with a firm foundation. We adapted as the world changed. And I think we are well prepared for the next 100 years. I would hope 100 years from now, when the members of MMPA are celebrating our 200th anniversary, they will be able to look back on today and say they got it right. Thank you.